everyone. Greetings from snowy Colorado Springs, Colorado. I am Chandra Hall, here to welcome you to Keynote Live's Facebook Live event, Get Underwhelmed, Step-by-Step Strategies for a Successful Day. Now, before we get started into the content and allowing everybody some time to get on, I know it's 1 minute until noon my time. Obviously, everybody's in a different time zone. But I had just a few things that I wanted to share with you before we jump into the content. So first of all, I want to thank our great sponsor, Keynote. Keynote is such a great organization. They help the real estate industry rethink online education. So I'm excited that you're all here to join me in this new event that we're doing in 2017. And please be sure to like our Keynote page. That's what you're looking at this live video from right now. So please be sure to like our page. We'd greatly appreciate that. And we promise to bring you a lot of valuable and relevant content that will help you in your real estate business. And the other thing that I would invite you to be aware of and do is when you have a few moments, check out our website. It's www.keynotecommunity.com. You'll be able to find lots of resources to help you grow your real estate business. You'll also see our list of online video courses. I myself have a few courses on there, so you may want to check those out, as well as many other great instructors are on there with their live video courses as well. And the great news is we offer continuing education for a lot of the courses in a lot of different states. So you can go check out your state and see what's available by visiting the website keynotecommunity.com. And let's see, with that, I think we may be able to get started. So I wanted to just give you a quick introduction of me, that I'll be leading our session today. I've had the opportunity to meet some of you who were on here before in a live classroom or at a real estate event somewhere. So again, thank you for taking the time out of your business to join us today and invest in your business and work on your business. And I've been in the real estate industry now for 20 years. And I live in Colorado Springs, as I mentioned. I have a residential resale practice here. I also do the new home side of things. My dad's a builder and developer, so we do a lot of business together. And my team consists of myself, another realtor, and an assistant. So enough about me. I want to jump right into the content and get us started. First of all, I want you to know that today, I know this is a Facebook Live event, but I'm going to ask you to do some things. I'm a big believer in capturing the magic of the momentum. So we're going to do some things in our time together and not just talk theory, right? We're going to actually do some things on here. So please grab something to write with. I know we're going to kind of take it old school for some of you. Pen and paper would be great. Since you're watching this possibly on your phone or on your laptop, certainly, hopefully you're not driving. So everybody should be able to write something down, whether digitally or with old school pen and paper. But the first step in really getting underwhelmed is to get clear about what you want your business to look like. So with that, we're going to do a quick little exercise. And it's going to be a timed exercise. So the first thing I'd like you to write down is the heading, My Ideal Business in 2017. So again, you're just going to jot down my ideal business in 2017. Great. Now, when I say go, you are going to have a quick 90 seconds to write down in bullet point format what you want your business to look like in 2017. So for example, it's not fancy sentences. Don't overthink this. It's just quick, easy bullet points. I do this many transactions. I have this much volume. I work these many hours a day, these many weeks out of the year. I'm taking this vacation, whatever that is. Okay, so you're going to have 90 seconds. I'm going to time us. And you're going to write down in quick bullet points what you want your business to look like in 2017. Ready, set, begin. right, hopefully you're playing full out here, writing out your points. You'll be glad you did. We've got about 45 more seconds. Right, we're wrapping it up with 10 seconds. All right, that's time. Now that you've got that, the next thing that I would like you to do is you're going to just have a quick 30 seconds for this one, and you're going to write down what you consider to be the top 3 challenges for you in 2017. So just write down that heading, top 3 challenges in 2017. Give you a few seconds to get that down. Top 3 challenges in 2017. And then I'm going to give you a quick 30 seconds. Don't overthink it. Capture the momentum here. Quick 30 seconds to write down your top 3 challenges. Ready, set, go. Ten seconds. All right, and time's up. Okay, last piece to this exercise, last quick piece. I'd like you to think about what these challenges are costing you, both personally and professionally. So having these challenges in your life are presenting problems, things that are causing you possibly some grief. It could be professionally, but also personally. I don't want you to forget about the personal piece. So I'm just going to give you a quick 30 seconds when I say go, and I'd like you to jot down what having these challenges is costing you, both personally and professionally. Okay, so quick 30 seconds. Ready, set, go. Five seconds. And time's up. Great. Thank you all for playing along. I hope you did, because that's really the most important first step that each of us can take is when we're feeling overwhelmed, we have to start with clear direction so that we can build a plan and then move forward. So that was an important piece to do. Thank you for doing that. And now I just want you to consider a couple of things for yourself that will help you in 2017, because here's the reality. Whatever you wrote down, and of course, I don't know what you wrote down unless you choose to share it, but whatever you wrote down, we as human beings only make change in our lives, whether it be personally or professionally, for one of 2 reasons, either to gain pleasure or to avoid pain. Now, many of you have potentially read some studies about this, and you know that the stronger of the 2 is to avoid pain. We will do more as human beings to avoid pain in our lives than we will to gain pleasure. Now, with that being said, here's the thing that each of us needs to answer for ourselves. The pain that you wrote down, that you identified, what having those challenges is costing you, if the pain is not as great to you, you probably won't make a change. And you know what? Totally fine. Only you can decide if you're willing to do what it takes to make that change. So that's the first step in underwhelming yourself, is to get really clear about what it is that you want for your life. Then get clear about where you are in the process and what's challenging you and what it's costing you. And then finally, to ask yourself, is the pain great enough that I'm willing to do something different in my life? We all know that famous old definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting a different result. So 2017 doesn't have to be that way for any of us. Part of this is treating your business like a business. I have the opportunity to not only sell real estate where I live in Colorado Springs and work with buyers and sellers, but I also get to travel around the country and work in a live classroom setting with agents like you, as well as do online video courses and so on. And one of the things that I've noticed as a common thread is most of us are pretty good entrepreneurs. We start a business, we get into it, we're successful. The missing piece is treating our business like a business. So for example, if you don't have a separate business checking account, that would be something that you absolutely want to get on your action item list for 2017, for this month. You've got to get those personal funds separated from business funds. If you don't have a written business plan, that's another really critical piece, because again, we don't know where we're going if we don't have the proper roadmap. And I just want to invite all of you to think about a distinction. And I'm going to be real picky with the words here. There's a huge difference between working in our business and working on our business. So all of you watching this have made a business decision to work on your business, in addition to working in your business. And the on part is what is tough. I will be the first to admit. Just before I came on here to do this live with you, I was working with my assistant on updating some of our checklist and systems and things that we do so that we can make sure that we have the best 2017 possible. So I know what it's like. It's tough to make that time. You're never going to find the time, so we all just have to schedule the time to do it. So kudos to all of you for taking this opportunity to invest on your business. And as business owners, we have to ongoingly do that. We need to set aside some time to work on our business. Otherwise, all of the work that we have to do in our business becomes very all-consuming, and then we tend to get overwhelmed. And when we as human beings get overwhelmed, we tend to shut down and we don't get much of anything accomplished. So that's what we're trying to avoid. Now, I'm a big systems gal. Some of you who are familiar with me know that my website is systemskeepyousane.com. I'm a big systems gal. I believe that anything that we do in our business or our lives, for that matter, that we do more than 3 times, that's kind of my benchmark, 3 times, we should have a system in place for that. And one of the things that I want you to really be clear about is I know it takes time. This is not some pie in the sky. I'm just telling you, oh, go get some more systems in your business. We've all heard that a lot of times. You have to make the time to do it. So we're going to talk about some of those action items today in our short time together. And then know that on our Keynote community website, as well as my website, there's additional resources to help you along in that quest as well. So first of all, I just want to share with you an acronym that I made up to the word system. It's called Save Yourself Some Time Every Moment. That's what systems stand for. Save yourself some time every moment. And while it takes time to put the systems in place, I want to remind you that good systems pay great dividends. So getting the systems in place will pay off big time in the long run. And there are systems for all areas of our business. And that's what is going to help you not get so overwhelmed. A friend of mine teaches productivity in corporate America. So she teaches to a lot of large corporations. She develops product for Daytimer, some of those type of products. And I was having a conversation with her a couple months ago. And one of the things that she said to me really stuck out, and I'd like to share it with you. She said, Chandra, here's the thing. Some people need to get back to old school. And what she meant by that is she was seeing a resurgence of pen and paper. Now, I know for some of you, that's like, oh my goodness, how could I even say that or suggest that? And there's a lot of people who want to go paperless and the whole green movement. And I can appreciate all of that, everyone. All I'm suggesting is for you to just look at your own individual systems. And if you are spending too much time trying to figure out what you should be doing instead of just doing it, that is a clear indicator that you could benefit from a shift in the systems that you're using. So just keep in mind, sometimes there's a lot to be said that we don't have to open up a piece of technology or open up an app to find out what it is that we're supposed to be doing. And if you are like me, that I used to be in the past, lie awake in bed at night and start thinking about all the things in my business and all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and start questioning if I followed up with this client or did I call that one and so on, that again is a good indicator that you could benefit from just a little bit of tweaking of some systems that you're using. So lots of different systems in different areas of our business, under contract, listing systems, different checklists, your business plan, your marketing plan, lots of different things. So not to overwhelm you, we are going to focus specifically in our time today on what I call planning and productivity systems. So we're going to keep that pretty narrow focus for our limited time today, but that doesn't certainly take away from the fact that every area of all of our businesses would benefit from systems, but we have to take it one small step at a time. I'm a big believer in small steps equals big success. You've all heard the phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, keep in mind that doesn't mean that you are to eat 7 apples on Sunday, right? So it's just small steps every day helps eliminate the overwhelm and get you into underwhelm, which will make you more productive and profitable. So as we enter into our planning and productivity specifically, I want to share with you one of my favorite quotes by the late Jim Rohn. Some of you may be familiar with Jim Rohn. He was just an amazing individual, did a lot in the self-help and business growth fields. And he says that people spend more time planning a vacation than they do planning their lives. And he says, perhaps it is because escape is easier than change. And I always think of that quote because I find it so interesting and it's so appropriate even for me in my own life. I think about the amount of energy and effort that I put into certain things in my life. Well, my goodness, why wouldn't I and you as business owners put that same amount of energy and effort into planning our business? So we're not obviously going to write a business plan during our time together, but one of the other actionable steps that I would invite you to take right now, capture the momentum, do it here and now, is to just sketch out what I call 4 easy business planning steps. So I'm going to walk you through just 4 quick steps, and you're just going to jot down your answers to the steps, right? So this is just for you to jot it down. The first step is what I call get clear. So part of getting clear is the exercise that we did earlier. It's really getting clear about here's what I want my business to look like. Here's how much volume I want to do. Here's the people that I work with. Here's how much of vacation I take, and so on. So you really got to get clear. The one piece that we haven't touched on yet that I'd like you to jot down for yourself is how much in GCI you want to bring into your business in 2017. Now, just so that we're all on the same page here, and if you've taken a CRS business planning course, you probably remember this formula from that class, but the formula that really drives all of our real estate industry and everybody's individual business is what we call the GCI, or gross commission income formula. And it simply consists of the following items. The first thing is your personal budget, what it costs to run your world. So you got to be clear about what those numbers are. Secondly, you have to pay taxes, of course. We all have a tax liability. The third item is, what does it cost you to be in business? What are your business operating numbers? And the fourth item, your marketing budget. And I just want to emphasize, we're putting the marketing budget as a separate item because most of us know that the marketing budget is much more variable than the costs that we see in the business operating budget. Whether you and I sell 1 house or 100 or 500, the reality is there are costs associated with being in this business, and those don't go away. The marketing budget, though, tends to be much more variable, so we like to look at that separately. So when I ask you in step 1 of your 4-part business plan that we're doing on this call, this live video rather, to get clear, I want you to think about that bigger gross commission income number. It's not about how much you want to make for yourself or how much profit you want. All of that is built into the GCI. So you may not know that number off the top of your head at this moment, and that's okay. I just want you to write down a good, reasonable guess right now. All right, so that's the first step, is to get clear. The second step is to analyze your numbers. Now, this is part of knowing your business. So for example, I would need to be able to know, just like you would, what is the median or average sales price in your community, right? That's important to know as a realtor. It's also important to know how much money does it cost you when you bring a listing into your inventory, right? So when I say analyze numbers, all sorts of numbers that I'm talking about that make up your real estate business, and those are just two quick examples. So you want to make sure that you analyze your numbers. Third step is what I call numbers don't lie. Now, this is where the budget comes into play. And for a lot of people, budget is kind of like the word diet. We don't like it. It sounds restrictive, not a lot of fun, probably not a lot of people's favorite word. I just want to share with you, a few years ago, I decided to change my mindset around the word budget and that whole concept. I call it a spending plan instead of a budget. Now, I know that's just semantics and it's only words, but words really do matter. So I want you to think about, if you have this negative connotation yourself, like I did, when you hear the word budget, think about creating the spending plan for your life and the spending plan for your business. And trust me, the people in your life are much more apt to sit down with you and talk about and participate in creating a spending plan than they are to talk about a budget, whether it be on the personal side or the business side. All right, and the last step, step 4, is your marketing plan. It's really interesting to see how many people who have success in the real estate industry, but they don't have a written marketing plan. And one of the things that I would encourage you to do for yourself this week in 2017, to start you off on the right foot here, is to get a written marketing plan. And I'll share with you one of the best ways that I know how to get that done is to use a big calendar. Now, you all know, and I meant to bring one up here. I'm actually up by where my router is, so we have better internet. I'm not down in my office. But you can picture one of those really big planning calendars, like the title company will give you most often. That's the calendar that I'm talking about. So we sit down and we map out our entire marketing calendar for the year using that calendar. Now, we are also Google Calendar users in my company, so we do everything digitally as well, but we do the old school paper big calendar because I have to tell you, the last few years that I've implemented this system, it has paid huge dividends because there's something magic and powerful about having your marketing plan just stare at you in your office every day. You're looking at this big calendar and there everything is. And when you invest the time, and by the way, for us, myself, my other realtor, and my assistant, we spend about 4.5 hours doing this activity. So we'll go out to lunch on a given day, and then we block the rest of that day for planning our marketing calendar. So I know that's a big chunk of time, and I know some people are thinking, oh my gosh, Chandra, how am I going to find 4 hours to sit down and do that? It goes back to our conversation earlier. Remember, the systems, once implemented, will pay big dividends. And you're never going to find the time, everyone, so you just have to schedule the time. So I would highly encourage you to do it. If there's one thing that you take away from our time today on this Facebook Live event, is to please have a written marketing plan. You will be so glad that you did. All right, now, let's talk a little bit more about the time management side and the prioritizing your time side. We can all relate to that. A lot of people are constantly telling me that they need help in this area. I myself, always could use a lot of help in that area as well. And so I want to share with you a system that I developed that I think you'll find really helpful. And please know, I'm not here to turn your life upside down or say what you're doing is, not working and totally change it to what I do. I am not suggesting that at all. And I hope you don't take it that way. I just want you to consider maybe taking 1 or 2 of the items that I share with you in what I call my daily planner system and implementing those and see how it works in your life. Remember, this is individual. It's kind of like when people say, hey, what's the best database system to use? Which one should I use? What's the best one? You know the answer to that? The one you'll use. Same answer with time management. People are always saying, what's the best planner tool? What's the best app for that? All of that. The best is the one you will use. So there's a lot of personalization that needs to come into this, but I am going to share with you a system that you can then take bits and pieces of and incorporate it even potentially into what you're already doing successfully. So first of all, I want you to consider that the problem really, or the challenge, is really not time management. It's energy management. And I'll prove it to you. I want you to think about the last time you took a real vacation. Now, think about how much did you get done the day before you left? Amazing, right? Unbelievable what you got accomplished. And it wasn't like it was some extra special day that had some extra hour or anything like that. It was because you were clear about what you needed to do, you were focused, and you had a plan. So that's what we're after here. We're never going to change time, everyone. We all have the same amount of hours in every day, and we all, of course, should be taking care of our health and getting the right amount of sleep and exercise and so on. So all those aside, the hours that we have left is what we need to deal with. So let's talk about the system. Now, you may have seen a link when you were joining the Facebook Live event. You may have seen a link that they posted for you to go and download a sample, a copy, I should say, a PDF file of my daily planner. Okay, so it looks like this. So everybody had an opportunity to, or if you haven't, it's okay. I'm just going to talk about this form. And so I just want you to know that you have it available to you as a resource, and we're going to talk about all of the different sections on this form as we go along. All right, so the first thing I want you to know is, in order to use the system effectively, I need to teach you a few things, and there are a couple of rules. Now, I know that some people don't love rules, but just take it for what it's worth. If you know the rules, you can successfully implement the system. All right, so here we go. The first step that I want you to do is I'd like you to jot down, wherever you're putting your notes, I'd like you to write down one thing that you are very clear that you need to start doing in your business. Just one thing. Don't overthink it. It's always usually the first thing that comes to your mind. Just one thing that you are very clear that you should start doing in your business. For a lot of people, they write down, I need to start marketing and prospecting daily, right? That's a pretty typical one. I need to start spending more time working, with clients, whatever it is. Okay, so you define what that is. You write down, start doing equals blank, whatever that is. All right, the next step. I'd like you to write down just one thing that you need to stop doing in your business. So just one thing that you are very clear that you really should stop doing. A lot of popular ones on this one. Stop doing for a lot of people is stop spending so much time on Facebook, unless, of course, it's attending our Facebook Live events. But outside of that, social media tends to be a popular one. There'll be some other ones that you'll come up with, but I just want you to identify one thing. This is part of getting underwhelmed, is because too many of us get overwhelmed because there's so many things we think we should start doing and stop doing. We're just going to focus on one for right now. All right, now the next step is part of the daily planner system, which is you are going to build every day around 3 MMAs. Now, let me just share with you, an MMA is just an acronym for what I call money-making activity. So you're going to build every day around three MMAs, which stands for money-making activity. This was a total game changer for me, and I would invite you to do this for yourself. You'll be amazed at the results you will get. And here's why. If we build our day around money-making activities, it alleviates what most of us experience as a business challenge, which is this. I know, just like you do, that I should be doing some active marketing and prospecting in my real estate business on a daily basis. Well, for me, that's Monday through Friday. However, I also find it very easy to just get in the flow of the day, and before I know it, I'm reacting to the events of the day, and then 5:30, 6 o'clock rolls around, and the last thing that I feel like doing is any kind of marketing or prospecting. And then for me, another day has gone by that I didn't do that in my business. So there's probably some people watching this that can relate to that very example. So in order to avoid that, we're going to build every day around 3 MMAs. Now, in order for you to successfully use the system, I need to walk you through the rules. There's 4 of them, so you'll want to jot these down. The first rule is they must be done early in the day. Must be done early in the day. That's rule 1. Now, early in the day, I know, is somewhat relative. I can tell you for me personally, it's before 10:30. That's my benchmark, before 10:30. So, must be done early in the day is the first rule. And you define what early is, but for me, it's before 10:30. So these are not 3 things that we're going to knock out at 8 o'clock at night right before we're, getting ready to wrap it up for the day. That's not the system at all. The system is must be done early in the day. And you define what early means. For me, it's before 10:30. All right, rule number 2. No more than 90 minutes for all 3 MMAs. So I want to be really clear about that, everyone. You are not going to spend a huge chunk of your day on this. This is not going to totally turn your world upside down because we're asking so much of you here. It's not that at all. It is no more than 90 minutes for all 3 MMAs. And you know what? There are some days when you will spend 30 minutes on your MMAs. Some days you might spend all 90. I mean, every day is going to be a little bit different. But no more than 90 minutes for all 3 MMAs. All right, rule number 3, and this is very, very important, must be measured by time or quantity. Must be measured by time or quantity. And I'll give you an example in just a moment, and that will make more sense. But that's the 3rd rule, must be measured by time or quantity. And last but not least, rule number 4 is this. No plus or minus carryover. Now, some of you are probably laughing right now because you know exactly what I mean by that. This is not a system of, I've got a really busy day tomorrow, so I think I'll do 5 MMAs today, and then I'll just knock out 1 tomorrow, and that's 6, which averages out to 3. No, not at all, everyone. The reason this system works for people who do it is because it is a system not only to get you underwhelmed, but also it's a system in accountability. So it's 3 a day, 3 a day, 3 a day. It's not average of 3, no plus or minus carryover. All right, now let's give some examples. I am in the final stages. I just am launching a new real estate website for my company. And that was a huge undertaking. A lot of you on the event here have maybe done that and been involved with that, and you can completely relate. But it was a huge project to take on. But the reason that I was able to do it without going crazy and to do it successfully is by using this exact system that I'm sharing with you. So let's say that my goal is to have a new website. The old me would have this really long to-do list, and on it, I would write the word website. Now, you may be able to relate to that. And then what would happen is, I would go about my days and I'd look at the list and I would get some stuff done. I'd be excited to cross some things off. And then there would be the word website kind of hanging out on the list. And it would be there and carry over. And then at some point, it just kind of fell off the list. Now, that is not a productive or effective system. And let me just tell you, that's what I used to do about 6 years ago before I implemented this system that I'm sharing with you now. So now that I have this new system, here's what an example of using MMAs would look like to accomplish the goal of a new website. Spend 20 minutes researching website providers. Now, I want you to notice, everyone, that totally complies with the rules. Remember, we said one of the rules was it must be measured by time or quantity. So spend 20 minutes researching website providers. Absolutely fits the rules, measured by time. Look at 2 top agents' websites. Notice that one is measured by quantity. So it's really critical to get the time or the quantity in there. And here's the other thing you need to know to make this work. I want you to write your MMAs as if they're laughable. Meaning, when you write it, you look at it and you say, oh, of course, I can totally do that. Because I want you to notice, it's not research for 90 minutes, website provide. No, you're not going to do that. That's not effective. That's not going to work. And you're just going to get overwhelmed, and then you're going to do nothing. So you've got to make these laughable. Make them very easy. Remember, it's small steps on a daily basis that get us to the big success. Let's say that another one of your goals is to increase your listing inventory in the next 30 days. Okay, great. You and I know that in order to increase our business, one of the best things that we can do is be in touch with our past clients. So an MMA, if I had that goal, could be call 2 past clients. Now notice, everyone, it's not call 10, it's not call 15, it's call 2. Because when I look at that, my heart rate doesn't increase. I don't start to get all anxious and freaked out like I'm not going to be able to do it. No, I look at that and say, oh, I can totally do that. Call 2 of my past clients today before 10:30 a.m. Done. Got it done. Absolutely not a problem. And that's what we want. We want the MMAs to be laughable. All right. Now that you understand the concept, we're going to take it to this daily planner form that everybody had the link to download. So you'll notice on the top left of your form, it has a place for you to put the MMAs. The next piece of this form was another big game changer for me because I was pretty good at setting goals. I mean, I've done that for a long time. And then when I became a real estate business owner, which for me, I've been licensed 20 years, but I grew up in the industry. And for me, I realized that one of the things that I was doing was I was setting goals, but I didn't have a business plan. Because keep in mind, setting goals is the what you want. Business plan is how to get it. So that was the missing piece for me. So I realized I was writing down all of these goals, but then they were just kind of sitting there and I didn't really have any direction. There was nothing for my mind to plug into. And again, I just became overwhelmed and I did some of them, but didn't do some others. So the next piece that you'll notice on the daily planner form is that it's broken down by time sections. It says, in the next 30 days, I will. In the next 90 days, I will. And in the next 12 months, I will. Now, there's no mistake that there's only 3. So I just want to put that out there. I know that some of you are like, well, Chandra, I have more than, 3 or even 9 goals. Okay, I get that. So do I. But what we're doing is we're focusing on only 3 at a time in those given time frames, the 30 days, the 90 days, and the 12 months. And if any of you have done any research, I like to do a lot of reading on the brain, neuroscience, how our brains work, and so forth. There's really something powerful and magical about the number 3. So our brains like the number 3. We can handle the number 3, which is why we have 3 MMAs and 3 goals in each of our 3 different sets of time frames. Okay, then the next part you're going to notice on that daily planner form is something that I call daily success habits. I created this because I wanted a section that I could also focus personally on. So 3 daily success habits for me are something personal. So for me, currently, my 3 daily success habits that I'm focusing on are pray daily, drink at least 90 ounces of water a day, and do excited grateful with Dino. Now, Dino is my husband. And every day in the morning, we do this exercise where we each have to say, I'm excited about something and I'm grateful for something about the other person. So it's just our little thing that we do, excited, grateful. Because I read how people said to keep these gratitude journals, and I just wasn't getting it done, everyone. And so I went along, beating myself up. Oh, you should do a gratitude journal. What's wrong with you? Look at all these other people that do it. And finally, I thought, this is crazy. I'm clearly not doing the journal. It's just not a fit for me. So I came up with this little excited, grateful exercise instead. So the point is, your daily success habits are anything that you want to focus on personally. And I change those up no less than every 4 months, because it takes, they say, you've heard people say, it takes 21 days to form a habit. That's not true, everyone. It takes much longer than that. So I like to focus on 3 things, and I don't change those up until at least I've been focusing on those for about 4 months. So that's the daily success habits. Now, the next section on your form, which again, you all have or will be able to go get after our event, are the appointments. Now, appointments are very self-explanatory. You would obviously put whatever times are appropriate, the start, the end, and so on. So you have your appointments there. The other big game changer for me in using this system that has helped me go out of overwhelm and into what I call underwhelm is to take my very long to-do list and create a due today list. So that's that next part of the form that you'll see, which is on the right-hand side. It says due today list, and then below it, it says to-do list. Now, one of the things I want you to realize is this is a Word document for me on my computer, and every day it's simply a file save as that date. So 2 things you want to keep in mind here. 1, my to-do list, just like I'm sure yours would, goes on to the next page, as this is, it's kind of a 2-page thing for me, but that's fine. And what I do is I create my daily planner form. When I'm finishing work for the day, I do the daily planner form for the next day. And that's really important, because you don't want to wake up then trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. That is a huge, huge productivity time trap and major, major mistake. So don't do that. Please invest in yourself and make the time when you're finishing the day to then work on your daily planner and get it solidified so that you can rest easy at night knowing you've got everything written down, everything's handled, and you wake up tomorrow, the next day rather, and you've got your plan and you're very clear and you're ready to go. So the due today list, let's talk a little bit more about that. It is not how much can I pile on my due today list. That's not it at all. What I want you to understand is it's an opportunity to prioritize some items that are on your to-do list. So for example, it's things that you absolutely must get done. So like, unless, God forbid, I got majorly ill or hit by a bus or something, these are the things that I have to get done in my business today. Those are the things that go on your due today list. And the other thing that I wanted to share with you about this is, again, I know this is kind of old school, but I print this puppy out and I carry it with me, because I have to tell you, I have seen a huge change in my productivity over the last 6 years or so that I've used this. Because when I pull up early, let's say to an appointment, my client's not there yet, I simply reach into my purse, grab out my daily planner. It's right there, right in front of me in black and white. And I can make one of those phone calls on my due today list, or, whatever it is that I need to get done. So it helps me capture all of those extra moments that before might have been time spent on, well, let me just check out Facebook or see what's going on. But the beauty of this, everyone, is if you are able to capture those moments and have your plan and work your plan, you'd be amazed at how much more productive you will be. And it frees up your time to spend your time with your loved ones, your family, your friends, your children, whatever that looks like in your life. Whereas many times I found myself, before I had a system like this, I was spending a lot of my evenings trying to get other stuff done because I just didn't have a plan. I was very overwhelmed, So this system has let me get into underwhelm, which has been great. Now, the last piece on the form, and then, of course, we're going to open it up, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. But the last piece on the form is what I call weekly benchmarks. Now, just a couple of things about this. This is probably the last piece that I would recommend implementing, because anything new can be a little bit overwhelming at first. So this would be one of the things that I would do last if you chose to take on this system. But remember, a benchmark is not a goal. A benchmark measures an activity or a result. So for example, my goal may be to do 5 million GCI this year. Okay, so that's my personal goal. Okay, great. Well, that's a goal, but a benchmark for me, a weekly benchmark, would be to have X number of appointments on my calendar every week. So the concept is to be able to break it down so that we get out of overwhelm and we get into underwhelm, and we give our brain something to focus on and plug into. So that's what we mean by benchmarks. It's setting things for yourself on a weekly basis that you can focus on that will ultimately help you accomplish all of your business and personal goals as well. All right, now, again, everyone, I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. I know we've been going here for about 45 minutes. And if we have any questions, my team who's managing that is going to let me know so I can answer any questions that may have come through. So we'll give you a minute here to see if there's any questions that you'd like to post, and we'll be happy to address those. At least 90 ounces a day, everybody. There's my water. There you have it. All right, so it looks like we don't have any direct questions right now. So a couple of things I want to leave you with. Remember, you can download the daily planner, and you can do that at the link that they posted. That comes from my website, systemskeepyousane.com. Please like our Facebook page here at Keynote. We promise to bring you valuable resources and updates and things to help you in your real estate business. And again, just wanted to give a shout out and thank you again to our sponsor, Keynote. Keynote is just such a great community, and everyone, it's a growing community of real estate agents just like you and me. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. Do sign up for the newsletter. That is the best way to know what events are happening, what new courses we've posted online for you. Remember, in a lot of your states, they have CE credit available as well. So you'll want to check that out. And when you sign up for our newsletter, we will, just as a thank you, give you a $5 off coupon that you can use towards your next Keynote class. And I'm excited to announce that we have our next Keynote Live Facebook event set for next month, which is going to be February 27th, everybody. So you can mark that date down, February 27th. And that is going to be done by my good friend and fellow CRS instructor, Jackie Leavenworth, and she will be discussing negotiation strategies. Now, the other thing that I wanted to share, I did see a quick question come through when people, we were talking about our marketing calendar, and I shared with you that we use that really big, paper calendar, and then we put it all in Google, so we all have it digitally as well. But just a couple of examples, and I know, Natalie, you wanted to get some more insight on this, so thank you so much for bringing that up. So for Natalie and everybody, a couple of examples. One of my very first CRS courses that I took, because I'm a CRS instructor now, and one of the courses that I took years ago, I heard somebody share this marketing idea of sending out Happy St. Patrick's Day cards with a little $1, scratch-off ticket. And the card would just talk about like, hey, we're so lucky to know you and have you in our lives as a client and friend and so forth. And, happy St. Patrick's Day. And I thought to myself, that is so cool. What a great idea. Because think about it. I certainly have never received a Happy St. Patrick's Day card in the mail. I mean, some of us still get birthday cards in the mail, but even that's few and far between in today's digital age. So I thought, what a great opportunity to have something that would stand out and be a lot of fun in the process. So what that looks like is on our calendar in March, then, March 17th being St. Patty's Day, we put on the calendar St. Patty's Day card and scratch off. Now, we don't stop there, everyone, and this is the key, and I'm glad Natalie asked this question, because to really make this effective, we then write down and calendar the steps to make that happen. So for example, we send our Happy St. Patty's Day cards in my company, we send them to a database group that we call our Favorite 50. So there is a date on the calendar a few weeks prior to that we put on there, Chandra to give Wendy Favorite 50 list. So that's my accountability, which means that I have to have looked over the list in our database and approved the list and said, yep, this is who the St. Patty's Day cards are going to. There's no one missing from that list, or, it's all updated and so forth. And then I give that information to Wendy, who is my assistant. So we don't just write the marketing campaign or the, idea. We write out the to-do action items on the calendar as well. And that's another reason, everybody, that we use the big calendar, is because then we have, a good amount of space to write those in. Because again, then I, Wendy, and Michelle, my other realtor, we all then have our items that we sit there and we then put our accountability items on our calendar, our individual Google calendars. And then, of course, we have a shared Google calendar where, I can monitor and see that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do and keep myself on track as well. So I hope that helps, Natalie, as some examples. And while we're on the topic, any other questions that came up or that we can address for you? Give that just a minute to make sure we're checking in and make sure everybody gets all their questions answered. And you all, of course, are certainly welcome to contact me. You'll find me on, the web, systemskeepyousane.com. My cell phone number is on there. You can feel free to reach out, text, or call me on that. My email is just my name, Chandra@chandrahall.com. So you'll have opportunities to connect with me and reach out if you have further questions that I can help you with. So again, please remember to mark your calendar, February 27th, same place, same time, whatever your respective time zone may be. And my good friend Jackie Leavenworth is going to do a great session for you. She's the queen of negotiating. She's going to share negotiation strategies to help you in your business. Another great investment of your time on February 27th. And thank you again to Keynote, who is really helping our real estate industry rethink online education and how you and I can interact and help each other build our business. So thank you again, everybody, for investing on your business, not just working in your business, but thank you for investing your most precious asset, your time, here with me today. And I look forward to seeing you online or at a live event sometime soon. Take care, everyone.